our parents, and the rest of the family, we'd like to thank each of you for joining us to celebrate a life well lived. My grandfather was a loving husband of 65 years, a devoted father, and an incredible grandfather, and a faithful friend. But to us, he was simply Pop. Pop had a remarkable way of leaving every person, every place, and every situation better than he found it. His life's purpose was simply being there for others whenever they needed him. Pop had his own love language. He loved through action. If he loved you, he showed you. He built things, fixed things, cooked for you, drove you where you needed to be. He helped without being asked, and somehow always knew when somebody needed his help. I was fortunate to experience that kind of love from the very beginning. After I was born and my mom needed to return to work at the bedside as a bedside nurse, Pop took early retirement to stay with me. During that time, he walked many of miles. It was never a favor, chore, or sacrifice. It was just him loving through action and being himself. As I grew up, he was still my favorite babysitter. Days with Pop meant I had no worries. I was well fed. And I was having a whole lot of fun. Those ordinary days with Pop became some of the greatest gifts of my childhood. They taught me that love isn't only spoken, sometimes it's simply shown, day after day, by choosing to be there.
If you want to know how special my grandparents are, then you should know that both of their great-grandchildren are named after them. Hayden Elliott Harlow, after our Gee, and James Curtis Reagan, after our Pop. Pop left an incredible legacy of faith, family, and hard work, passed down to his children and grandchildren. He believed strongly in God and modeled his faith through service to his family and community. Gee recalls that when she met Pop, she found him so special because he was hardworking, but also so kind and so gentle. She describes Pop as a man who wakes up in the morning happy, excited to be with his loved ones, excited to live his life. He found joy in everyday mundane tasks, such as going to the bank or the grocery store, such as taking care of his family. Pop and Gee have left a legacy to their grandchildren of a beautiful marriage, sacrificial hard work for the betterment of their family. May we all in Pop's memory love our neighbors, serve our families, and be devoted in our faith.
Seven grandchildren came in over 15 years. While he was consistent in each of our lives, he made sure to have an individual relationship with each of his grandchildren. Pop didn't just tell us he loved us. He built places for us to play. He built Bubby a treehouse, hung a swing from the old tree in the backyard, bought a little four-wheeler that every one of his grandchildren eventually rode, and somehow turned ordinary afternoons into memories we'll carry forever. There are so many staple memories that we will always have of Pop, like tractor rides, pancakes, French fries, his cooking pants, and many other things. But overall, he was just simply a present grandfather. The memories will always be there. We will always miss his physical presence, but the feeling of his presence will never go away. He will live on through the things he taught us, the love he showed us, and I will always carry a part of his name with me, Len. Not only do I have Pop's middle name, but I also carry another name that I will always hold close to my heart. The name Pop and Gee gave me, the baby. Every memory I have with Pop includes him calling me his baby. From our first Christmas Eve, when I was just a month old, until recently, sitting with him in his mudroom with Val, I was always his baby. That is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life.
When I think of my grandfather, I think of the Bible verse, Matthew 22:39. Love your neighbor as yourself. I think a lot of people in here can agree that there's no better neighbor than Pop. Everyone was Pop's neighbor. I used to go with Pop a couple times when I came out to visit to deliver meals, to deliver some snacks or some fresh vegetables, or even his world famous millionaires at Christmas out to his friends and neighbors, or just people that are sick and struggling and in need. Pop was the first person to meet every need. You might have connected with some of you in this room that same way. He'd mow lawns, he'd gather mail. He was always present and always there for everyone, and was always the first to greet everyone at church. Pop set a great example for all of his grandkids of faith, strength, and kindness to his family. I'm proud to take on his name, Curtis, and hope that one day I can be close to the man that Pop was.
All this to say, Pop was unlike any other man any of us have met, and I am incredibly blessed to call him my best friend. One of the quietest signs of who Pop was could be found simply walking into his mudroom. The walls were lined with certificates and diplomas, years of hard work, dedication, and achievement. There he would sit, humbly, on the couch beneath him, watching the news, as if everything was normal, never allowing his accomplishments to define his worth or his character. Those framed papers only told a small part of his story, and I believe Pop's greatest accomplishments could never be hung on the wall. I only ever knew Pop with a full head of gray hair, and I believe this was his greatest diploma he's ever earned. Proverbs 16:31. Gray hair is a crown of splendor, is attained in the way of righteousness. Every gray hair represented a life lived with integrity, humility, faithfulness, and love. From raising 3 incredible daughters to loving Maggie faithfully for more than 65 years, to putting others before himself every single day, ultimately becoming the greatest grandfather I could have ever asked for. Pop earned that crown through a lifetime of quiet faithfulness. His legacy was never measured by titles, awards, or degrees. It was measured by the lives he touched and the family he built and the example he set for us every single day. And today, as we remember Pop, we hope we carry forward what he taught us: to love through action, to serve without expecting recognition, and to show up when people need us. To leave every place and every person a little bit better than we found them. That's the legacy Pop leaves us, and that's what a life well lived looks like.